Good evening and welcome to the Neighbourhood Plan Implementation Subcommittee. The first item on the agenda is the election of the chair. Can we have any nominations, please?
Could I nominate Councillor Carroll, please?
Any
Seconded.
all in favour? Yes. Right.
Yeah, I'll sit.
Oh yes, okay, no, that's fine.
I've seen screen better.
No, that's absolutely fine.
Okay, then so we go on to item 2, which is the election of the vice chair. Have we any nominations?
Nominate Councillor Jones.
The other nominations? No. Okay, there's a second it. Okay, then so Councillor Jones is duly elected as vice chair of the Neighbourhood Plan Implementation Subcommittee. Okay, I'll then move on to item 3, which is apologies and substitutions.
Thank you, Chair. I've not received any apologies apart from Sally Chapman, who can't be with us this evening.
Questions from the public, item 4.
I've not.
Moving on to item 5, which is specific declarations of interest. Has anybody got anything? Item 6 is the minutes. That's to recommend the minutes of the meeting held on the 18th of November 2025. Anyone got anything from the minutes?
It looked okay to me.
Yes, me too. Okay, everyone happy? Yes. Yeah. Everybody's happy. Approved. Moving on to item 7, committee function in terms of reference. Page 7 on the pack. Okay, through.
In fact, we approved these last week. They were approved at the.
This is provided for information.
I think we know what it's about. Thank you.
It's report information. Okay, moving on to item 8, which is the Neighbourhood Plan Monitoring Implementation Update. Pages 8 to 19. Members are reminded that the Outreach Neighbourhood Plan was formally adopted in May 2024 following community consultation and examination. In line with the Council's objectives to ensure active delivery and continued relevance of the plan, the agreed approach to monitoring and implementation is now being delivered through the support of the Town Council's planning consultant. Members will find attached a monitoring report summarising planning applications considered during the period and of how the neighbourhood plan has been applied. The arrangement strengthens the consistency of planning approved responses, ensures that the effective application of the neighbourhood plan policies and supports informed decision making by members. Okay, we've got 3 recommendations on this plan. First recommendation is to reaffirm the Council's commitment to a structural approach to planning application responses, ensuring that the proposals are clearly assessed against the relevant neighbourhood plan policies. Item 2 is to agree all planning responses will, where appropriate, explicitly be referenced relevant neighbourhood plan policies, support by professional advice. Item 3, which is to endorse the continued arrangement of Council's planning consultant, Sally Chapman, to advise members on the planning applications and policy interpretations, support consistent and effective application of the neighbourhood plan, assist and monitor the reporting and future review of the plan. I've done that a little bit. We should open it up to anyone got any questions regarding this item.
Well, yes. I've got 1 or 2 comments. I think perhaps they might be useful in terms of what we need to know for the meeting. The report has been prepared by Sally, has it?
Yes.
Right, okay. Only I noticed that she refers to the applications we've considered by reference number, which it's fine as far as it goes, but it means nothing to me because I would work on the addresses of these things. So I've been through as far as I can what we've looked at. There's the situation with revised applications that have come back to us after consideration by the planning department. There's been a number of applications come back with revisions and asking for further comments. Sally doesn't appear to have touched on those at all, possibly because they're not listed in the ordinary run of. There would normally be a letter to yourself.
Yes, so all the applications that we get with the actual numbers, the reference numbers, are what I provide to Sally, and then she looks into that further. So if they're a revision, I don't know that they would be included on that list.
No,
So,
well, it would appear that they haven't, and I would suggest perhaps they should be. I did notice that there was one that was missed, which was on the December 8th meeting. Now, I think it was an application that was to be it fell within the bounds of delegated powers, but we actually discussed it, and there is no comment about the application. That is CB 25031044, and that's in connection with 44 Lee Fields, which we did have a problem with. And I think there was an earlier application for 44 Lee Fields which has been refused. So, having said that, I'm partially overwhelmed by the number of applications we get, which we're not required to comment on.
They're included on the agenda for noting. Would it be preferable if they weren't included on the agenda, maybe sent round as an email?
No, it's just that we're getting a lot of DOC applications, and as you know, we're not required to comment on DOC applications. Excuse me. Other than that, I don't think I've got any other observations to make. I think the plan is going well. I do note that the two applications on the 20th of April agenda that Sally refers to in the notes, we've objected to the applications, well, it was the same application, effectively, two applications, but one was listed building. And the note is objection, but no reference to the neighbourhood plan. And if you like, that's a little bit of a slap on the wrist, and we must endeavour to do better. And as the forthcoming chair for the next 12 months, I will try and ensure that we do better.
Okay, the only things I've got a couple of things to add. I've got concerns over the new open space on the new build, which I feel it's time for us to start including those in the neighbourhood. They need to be put into neighbourhood. And also, one of the other comments is a decision because there's more stuff coming on Linmere now, which although they're in private ownership, we can still register them as local open space. And I think it's important that we do register those sites as local open space. And also, I think it's important, we need to check up with Sally, whether we can actually record the park at Linmere and also the allotments that are next door to Linmere, because they are technically in Charlton, but they're accessed through Houghton. So I think, are we eligible? Can we actually put those down as local open space or not? I think that's a bit of a task for us to.
Would be easier if they moved the boundary.
What constituents? I'm not going to go down that path.
That's another discussion.
That's another day. They're the only things I really like to see those put forward. As we're now looking at the local plan coming forward for CBC, I think we need to start having a neighbourhood plan ready for inclusion into the local plan.
That's right. I went to the scoping thing. I mean, in fact, I met you there, Jimmy. The scoping discussion at CBC, and I'm not quite sure whether this would form part of it, but we still have a few days before that consultation closes, so we could put in personal responses.
We could put personal
on that. I think that's what Sally advised, actually.
Yes, it is. I did email around. I think the closing date's the 3rd.
3rd of June, I think it is.
For comments and feedback.
Yeah, so we'll do that, and then I totally agree with you, Jimmy, about the open spaces. Now that Bidwell is pretty well developed out, and it's becoming clearer where the spaces are going to be on Linmere. It's probably time to start.
I think it's time to start registering those. The Linmere ones can be registered on the private local open space, and obviously the Bidwell stuff. I think a lot of that, the park and the other, and also the small parks that the town council is taking on, need to be registered actually as.
If I remember rightly from the last meeting, Sally advised that we would need to go through a regulation 14 arrangement and 2 consultations.
I think so, yes, if there's.
So it might be a question, I think, of preparing the groundwork at this stage, ready for the full review in 3 years' time.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's what we should do.
I think if we can get ourselves and get the neighbourhood plan in place, ready to go, just straightforward, I think that'd be there. But that's all I've got. That's all I had to bring up. Anyone else? No, India. But we need to vote on these 3 items, which I did read out before. Are we going to do them en bloc?
Absolutely. Move the recommendations, Chair.
Okay, so seconder. Second. Okay, we're all in agreement. So that's fine. Meeting closed at Alton time, 7:25.
1918.
1980. No, I've just come from a meeting